Hello everyone! So I did promise that when I eventually hit 1,000 subscribers, one of the first videos I was going to do for Mixing Wednesday was going to be real analog versus digital. Now, everybody's going to say, Paul, how the hell did you get your hands on some analog gear? Well, I actually haven't managed to get my hands on analog gear, but you do have streaming sites like Analog Access, and there's a few other ones as well, that allow you to basically stream actual hardware, and again, it depends on like your broadband and your internet connection on kind of the quality that you can stream, but it allows you to basically have analog over the internet, and it's unbelievable. It's crazy technology, and very luckily for me, they allow you to do a trial which involves allowing you to reserve the warm audio PULTEC for half an hour. So just to trial it out, you can have the warm audio PULTEC for half an hour. Okay, so very lucky. Again, Acustica Audio do Purple, which has a warm audio PULTEC emulation. Okay, so here we go. I said I was going to do it, and this is going to be pretty controversial, right? I am opening Pandora's box, okay? But, right, if I was going to do my first video, like my first Mixing Wednesday video after hitting 1,000 subscribers, it was going to be this. So, I can finally say it. Analog versus digital. Roll that VD. So let's get straight into it, okay? So Analog Access, I got the half-hour trial, reserved the warm audio PULTEC, and I printed as much as I could. One thing I do need to tell you is that this is going to be a mono-only test because the trial only gives you one unit. So if I wanted it in stereo, obviously I would need to reserve two warm audio PULTECs because they're mono units, right? People forget that, right? When they're dealing with analog. And I'll have the settings, so as soon as I go straight into the shootout, you'll get to see the settings of the analog, and then in the purple, I'll show you what I've done in the purple right after. So again, what you need to be aware of is that setting them the exact same way doesn't work. I can't get it to sound as close as it physically can. So again, the frequencies are the same, but the boosts and it's just slight little variances, right? Just slight little variances just to kind of get it to get as close as possible. So without further ado, bass, right? Let's see how we got on. So close. Tonally, it's nearly the exact same. Acoustic have done such an amazing job in sampling the warm audio. I think the low end is near perfect, and I would say that the only thing that's kind of a little bit different for me, where it kind of one sounds slightly different to the other, is I think it's in the saturation, and I think that there is there's a saturation that I couldn't get out of this unit. The problem is with the purple, when you crank the purple, it kind of starts to smear and it becomes less clear, where with the analog, what I feel is when you kind of hit it a little bit harder, you get that kind of nice warmth and that kind of coloured saturation from the PULTEC, but you've still kind of got that clarity, and I kind of feel just in the midst, the analog wins out. It's just a little bit, but it's slight, man. It's slight, but maybe that's because I've listened to it like over and over. I've listened to these so many times, okay? So very damn close. In a mix, would you tell the difference? I don't think you would, right? Again, let me know your opinions. I don't think in the bass you're going to tell the difference in a mix. I've heard people say that you put two analog units together, they are not going to sound the same. They're just not going to sound the same. So to me, I don't know, split an opinion, but I do slightly prefer the analog, but it's slight, okay? Slight preference. Let me know, right? So I've done the bass, give you my opinion. So let's move on to acoustic guitar. Okay, let's move into something that's a little bit more open and a little bit more airy. Okay, so obviously in the acoustic guitars we've got more high-end information. So again, I'll have the settings down below where I had the analog set, and then again where I had the purple set. So let's listen to acoustic guitars and let's hear the difference in that. Right, okay, so to me there's more differences in the acoustic guitar. This was quite, they're all quite hard to set, right? I was like tweaking it, and I think over tweaked it. My god, this took me ages to do. The hard thing with these plugins, right, is that low mid 3D analog character, right? That's the hardest thing to emulate. That's what they're all missing out on. So what I kind of find I kind of have to do with the purple is see the low cut in the bass. I kind of feel I have to take that back a little bit. I kind of feel I have to take that back a little bit and kind of open it up a little bit more. That's kind of what I found to kind of get that kind of low mid kind of character in there. Again, it's that 3D weight that analog has. But for me, if I was to say which one I actually preferred, I actually prefer the Acustica. I actually prefer the high end. I kind of feel that you can get kind of more refined high end out it. And it's just, again, it's so close. You can definitely tell purple is emulating a warm audio PULTEC. Definitely, 100%. Are there differences? Yes, there are differences, but as I said before, it could be one analog unit to another analog unit. Again, right, would I put my balls on the guillotine and say that the purple sounds analog? Again, yes, it sounds analog. It's got the same character, right? It's got the same character, and it's very close. There's times, honestly, when I was kind of playing about with it and I was bypassing it in and out, you couldn't tell that you were actually putting in a plug-in to analog. There's times in the song where you can go, that sounds a little bit different, and there's other parts of the song where I go, wow, that's just like A, B, sounds the exact same. So, acoustic guitars, again, let me know down below. Now, this is the tough one, right? This is really difficult. I took ages on this, is vocals, okay? Vocals is very hard, because again, you think about vocals, again, there's so much going on in vocals, a lot of frequencies going on in there, okay? So, this was a little bit difficult, but again, let's see how we got on. So, vocals, again, settings down below, one after the other. So, vocals, is there going to be as much of a difference this time as there was in the acoustic compared to the vocals?
There is a man in my dream knocking on my head, and I've given all I have to be given. There is a man in my dream knocking on my head, and I've given all I have to be given. There is a man in my dream knocking on my head, and I've given all I have to be given. There is a man in my dream knocking on my head, and I've given all I have to be given.
Right, okay, so vocals. For me, there's less differences in the vocals than there was in the acoustic guitar. I think the only difference for me is kind of like very similar to the bass, is the saturation. I kind of feel that there's a little bit more grit that I can't get. But I'd say grit as in clear. It's really hard for me to describe, but like a clear grit. It's still very clear, okay? Where it's like, honestly, I don't have a lot of harmonics. I'm not driving the pre that hard in the purple because I just, again, it kind of starts to sound a little bit smeary and I'll lose that clarity, and I was all about keeping the clarity in. So what I'm going to do on this one, I'm actually going to give you a little blind test and let me know in the comments how you got on. So blind test, let me know how you get on. And I'm going to do it as well, okay? So you'll see how quickly I make my decision, okay? So differences side by side, blind test, let's do it.
There is a man in my dream knocking on my head, and I've given all I have to be given. He never says that much, just looks at me with disgust that withers into anger. Who are these figurines that rest upon my pillow, flying in the night, doing nothing right? What does all this mean? If I wake them, will they follow? Never will I know where they go. Do they go? No, I never knew why. We were only passing ships.
So, blind test, I got it right because I can't hear it. The differences for me is the analog is slightly clearer. What the analog has is just a little bit more, again, clean grit. I like that, that's all I could think of it as. And it's that saturation, and I kind of feel that it's a little bit, tiny bit clearer. Just, it's coming out at you just a little bit more. And I think it's that saturation when the mids or wherever it's coming from. It's clean, it's just a little bit more cleaner, and it's just coming out at you a little bit more. And know what, you might go, haha, that is it, yeah, the plugins will never be as good as analog. Well, here's something for you. See the electric guitars, I forgot to record the settings when I was streaming. So from ear, by ear, now, but you got to remember, right, to get this as close as I've gotten this, now this is the closest that I'm ever going to get, right, I'm still so shocked how close it is. I lost the settings, and from ear, I was able to tweak the purple to almost get it exact, and when I was flicking through the frequency, I was like, this doesn't sound right, bang, I think I was at 5k or whatever I hit, and I was like, that's it. Wow, that's it, that's exactly the sound I was looking for. And see the tonality of flicking through the settings and trying to get it to match. Again, I think it took us 10 minutes, but I got there. And I was like, wow, like, this sounds so much like this unit that it acts like the unit, and I'm able to listen to it and honestly tweaked it. And so without settings, I was able to get it. And this is the electric guitar. If you want to sit there and kind of dip your head in the sand, right, and just be an ostrich for the day, right, whatever, do what you want, but listen to these electric guitars that I match from ear, right, and tell me that these don't sound nearly identical. Again, right, I'm talking the slightest differences. Critical listening, you're going to hear slight differences. But in a mix, no way are you hearing that in a mix. No way, Jose, are you hearing any difference in that mix. There's no way you're doing it. There's no way. That using the analog, right, on the guitars in that mix isn't going to give you any more of a benefit to using the plugins. It is almost identical. identical. My kind of reflection on this is Acustica audio, they are there. They are chapping at the door, right? They're chapping at the door. I'd say they're 95% there. Are they 100% there? No, but they're closer than anybody else I've ever heard, right? Because here's the thing, the reason I say that is because algo plugins don't sound like Acustica audio. In every shootout I do, I normally now prefer the Acustica audio, and it's because Acustica audio sounds more like analog, and we all prefer analog in most cases, right? So regardless of your opinion on how close this plugin emulates that specific warm audio PULTEC, you can't deny that this purple plugin in this setting sounds analog. It takes all of the characteristics of the hardware and it emulates it, right? Yes, it's not 100% perfect, but it's bloody 95% perfect. 95% perfect. And guess what else? It comes in bloody stereo. Mono, stereo, right? Like what I said earlier, right? To get stereo, right, out of these analog PULTECs, you would need to have 2 PULTECs. It's going to cost you a fair whack. This is like a plugin. If you're with Control Room, you get it 50% off. You can probably get like warm audio purple for like 100 quid. You also get the original PULTEC that they do as well, because it emulates 2 different things. It gives you more than that analog unit. But if you have liked this video, please like this video, because I think this is a very, very, very important video, because it's very, very important to me that we kind of dive into this further. This is what we're all here for. This is our interest. This is audio geekness at its highest level. This is what the debate's been going on for years about, right? This is what we speak about. This is why we buy analog emulations, okay? It's here. Let's dive into it even further, and I cannot wait for us to go through this journey together, okay? So thank you very much, guys. Like, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you again Wednesday. I don't know. I have a hernia, okay? Feel sorry for me. But just for the hernia, just give it a like, okay? So thank you very much, guys. Comments down below. Let me know your feedback. And please don't argue in the comments, please. And again, guys, thank you for all your support. And hopefully I'll have a Q&A up sometime soon, okay? We'll just see how I go on. Thank you very much, guys. And I'll see you again soon.